Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to be taking a look at ECARX Holdings. This is a company that's really right in the thick of it when it comes to the technology that's driving the future of vehicles.
Absolutely.
So you've been sharing some information about what they've been up to lately.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to kind of unpack what it all means
Uh,
for investors
hmm
like us.
Well, we've got a public offering to discuss,
Okay.
some pretty significant swings on the stock price.
Oh, yeah.
We'll dig into their most recent financial results
Uh-huh.
and even tap into some expert perspectives to try to figure out where ECARX might be headed.
Love it.
The goal here is to quickly give you a solid grasp of what really matters without getting bogged down in, all the complicated jargon.
Right.
So let's jump right in.
All right, so let's start with this public offering. ECARX announced that they're offering 25 million of their Class A ordinary shares, priced at $1.80 each. And the underwriters actually have the option to scoop up even more. They're stating that they plan to use these funds for research and development, for building up their overseas supply chain,
Okay.
and for general corporate purposes.
Oh.
So when you look at those stated uses,
Right.
what does that tell you about where their priorities are right now?
Well, I think it really underscores their focus on future growth and stability. Allocating a significant chunk of that money to research and development suggests that they're very aware of the need to constantly be innovating in this industry.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Technology in vehicles is evolving at an incredible pace.
So fast.
You absolutely can't afford to stand still if you want to stay competitive. And then on top of that, the investment in an overseas supply chain isn't just about having backups in place, This could signal their ambitions for a much broader global reach,
Yeah.
potentially gaining better access to certain components or, enhanced manufacturing capabilities.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I'm sure you've noticed the stock price has been kind of bouncing around lately.
Sure have.
Just this past week, it took a 15% dip. It's currently sitting around $1.50. That's a substantial move,
It is.
But
Okay.
then you look and you see some analysis suggesting that it might actually be trading near its fair value.
Interesting.
And then if you zoom out a little bit
Mhm.
and look at the bigger picture, it's been quite a ride. Down over 15% in the last month,
Okay.
but up 53% over 6 months and 34% over the past year. So
Hmm.
what do you make of all that volatility?
Well, that kind of price action often reflects a bit of a tug of war between those short-term market reactions and the longer-term investor sentiment.
Yeah.
So, the recent drop
Uh-huh.
might be tied to that public offering we were just talking about.
Okay.
Sometimes when a company issues a bunch of new shares,
Right.
it can dilute the value of the existing shares,
Makes sense.
at least for a bit. But the fact that some analysts are saying it's close to fair value suggests that the fundamental belief in the company's intrinsic worth
Right.
hasn't really wavered. Those longer-term gains we're looking at,
Yeah.
those could reflect, positive news from earlier, successful product launches, or maybe even just the general excitement around the whole smart vehicle market.
Yeah, that whole sector is really getting a lot of attention.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's dive into the financials a little bit here.
Okay.
For the last quarter of 2024, their revenue went up 4%
Mhm.
compared to the year before, hitting 1.9 billion RMB. And they actually managed to reach EBITDA break even.
That's great.
Now, for the entire year, their revenue grew by a solid 18% to 5.6 billion RMB. Their gross profit margin for that last quarter was over 21%.
Mm.
And their loss per share saw a really significant improvement from the year before. So for you, what are the most important takeaways from all these numbers?
Well, for me, the biggest headline is that EBITDA break even in the fourth quarter. That's a huge milestone because it tells us they're now generating enough revenue to cover their core operating expenses. It's a real sign that their business model is becoming sustainable as they scale up.
Right.
And then you look at that consistent revenue growth,
Mm.
both quarterly and annually,
Right.
and that confirms that there's serious demand for what they're offering and the improvement in the loss per share.
Yeah.
Well, that's a positive trend for sure. Suggests they're moving in the right direction toward overall profitability.
Okay, so they also filed their annual report. And it sounds like their main strategy is to be a provider of these full-stack solutions for smart vehicles.
Yeah, definitely.
They've partnered with some big names in the automotive world,
Yeah.
like Volkswagen Group, FAW, and Dongfeng, Peugeot Citroën,
Huge names.
and their technology is currently in over 8.1 million vehicles globally. That's a lot of vehicles. They develop these automotive computing platforms,
Right.
offering infotainment systems, digital cockpits, and even vehicle chip solutions.
Yeah.
So how critical are these partnerships for their future?
Oh, they're absolutely crucial. I mean, when you think about how complex the automotive industry is,
Right.
for a technology company like ECARX to actually get their innovations into vehicles,
Yeah.
they need that buy-in, that deep integration with these established car manufacturers.
Right.
These collaborations don't just provide a huge market opportunity.
I mean, 8.1 million vehicles,
Think about that footprint.
that's massive.
It's huge, but it also serves as a powerful validation of their technology.
Yeah, you're right.
The fact that these major players like Volkswagen are choosing to work with them, that lends a ton of credibility, and it could open doors to even more opportunities down the road.
It's a good sign. So let's look at what the analysts are saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be a unanimous opinion. Some of the technical analysis is suggesting that this dip in the stock price could be a buying opportunity for some,
Okay.
while others who are looking at the longer-term trends are suggesting holding on to existing shares. One analyst specifically issued a hold recommendation, pointing out their strong revenue growth.
Yeah.
And these partnerships that we've talked about as positives,
Right.
but also highlighting the intense competition in the market and the fact that the stock can be a little bit volatile
Sure.
as reasons for caution. This hold recommendation seems to be basically saying, okay, they've got potential, but let's see if they can actually deliver consistent profitability and diversify their income streams. What does this range of opinions tell you?
Well, I think it really highlights the challenges that come with trying to evaluate a company like ECARX. You've got the technical analysts who are focused on those short-term price movements and potential trading opportunities. And then you've got the fundamental analysts who are taking the longer view, assessing the underlying health of the business
Right.
and its future prospects. That hold rating is particularly interesting because it acknowledges both the potential upsides,
Yeah.
the growth, the partnerships,
Yeah.
but also the real risks involved, especially the competition.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies doing similar things.
There is. So I think that analyst is really looking for more evidence
Okay.
that ECARX can not only grow, but achieve sustainable profitability
Ah.
and reduce their reliance on any single customer for their revenue.
Gotcha. It's worth revisiting some of the potential challenges they face.
Okay.
That intense market competition, the constant pressure on pricing. Those are some pretty significant hurdles to overcome.
Yeah, for sure.
But on the positive side,
Yeah.
achieving that EBITDA break-even point,
Right.
demonstrating this strong revenue growth, those are notable achievements.
Absolutely.
They've also stated their goal to have a more balanced revenue distribution between their parent company, Geely, and other customers,
Okay.
which seems like a strategically smart move for long-term stability.
Yeah.
So when you weigh these strengths against the potential weaknesses,
Right.
what are the key takeaways here?
Well, what really stands out to me is that we're looking at kind of a classic high-growth, high-risk scenario.
Okay.
ECARX has shown they can grow their revenue.
Yeah.
They're making progress towards that financial sustainability. Those are big wins. But they are operating in an incredibly dynamic and competitive environment, and those pressures just can't be ignored. Their goal of diversifying that revenue base is critical. If they can successfully reduce their dependence on Geely, that will send a strong signal to the market that their technology has broad appeal
Right.
and that they're not just reliant on their affiliated companies.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So as we look ahead, what are the key things to watch out for with ECARX?
Well, I'd say keep an eye out for any official announcements about new partnerships.
Yeah, like the ones we've been talking about.
Exactly, especially those rumored collaborations with Volkswagen. If those deals come through, that could significantly expand their market reach
Yeah.
and provide further validation of their technology, their progress in areas like ADS and AI.
Uh-huh.
Those are going to be really crucial indicators as well. And of course, their earnings reports are going to give us that concrete data on whether they can keep that revenue growth going
Right.
while maintaining profitability. And don't forget about those bigger external factors.
Right, the things that are out of their control.
Exactly. Things like regulatory changes related to autonomous driving
Uh-huh.
or shifts in the global economy. Those could have a big impact as well.
Yeah, you're right. So it looks like ECARX presents a really interesting picture here with some really big opportunities, but also some potential challenges. That recent public offering and the resulting volatility in the stock price. Those are things that investors should definitely be paying attention to,
For sure.
but they need to be viewed within the context of their overall financial performance and their strategic position in this rapidly growing smart vehicle market. And those differing opinions from the technical analysts and the fundamental analysts,
Right.
those really highlight the need to take a nuanced approach when you're evaluating this company.
Yeah, a balanced view is always important. Well, we hope this breakdown has helped you understand the key factors at play with ECARX.
I think it definitely has. If you found this helpful and you want to dive into more companies like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave us a comment. Thanks for tuning in to Investing Talk Podcast.